So I am ready to color my cactus. What I have in front of me, I have crayons. I did get a variety of green crayons because our cactus is obviously a lot of green and I want to have a lot of options. If you don't have a lot of greens in your crayon box, don't worry, I have plenty. And I'm going to start coloring. So one of the great things about crayons that I really love is that you can create darks and lights, different values with the pressure applied by your hand. Can't really do this as much with markers. With markers, the color you get is pretty much the color you get. But I'm pressing a little harder up here on the edges, then I'm kind of lightening up. So maybe towards the edges of my cactus lines would be a place where I press a little harder. And then I lighten up and you can see the difference. So I've chosen this kind of olive green for my cactus sides, but I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna do something a little bit different in the middle. And that's where I think it's fun to play with your greens, because if you're gonna use a lot of green, might as well see how interesting we can make it, how different we can make it. And again, I'm just kind of touching a little harder on the outside edges, a little bit lighter in the middle. And this cactus has some arms, or appendages would be maybe a word we would use. Appendage is any kind of something that grows off of something else. So your arms are appendages. This cactus has arms. And I switched it up. I did the two sides with lighter green and then I did the darker green in the middle. And I think that makes for kind of an interesting cactus. Oops, I missed this guy. So look at all your different cactuses. Some of you did more than one. Some of you did, you know, one with lots of stuff on it. This is a very, very lime green. It's called green yellow. So you can also mix your greens together and even get some more. And I'm really making sure I'm filling my edges nicely. So maybe around this one I would layer in a little bit of a apple green, and it just kind of makes it look a little less yellow and gives it a little bit more interest. And I'm just doing those around the edges too. So same thing with these. Maybe I would add in a little bit of a darkness inside. You get the idea about those. Decide about your dirt. Is it dirt? Is it rocks? You know, I think I'm doing mine dirt, so I'm using some brown, but I could also mix in a little bit of gold or yellow. I'm gonna change up my brown. Again, pressing hard, pressing soft. And I'm just touching the little dirty parts of my dirt to get those. So we are gonna be coloring the cactus, the dirt, and the pot. We're gonna be painting our backgrounds. So we're gonna leave the big background alone. We're gonna be leaving the bottom alone. Now your pot, we took the time last time to really hit some of our areas with Sharpie. I colored in my dots. So now I made my job a little bit easier for myself. I can just color over all of this with my red, and my designs are already there for me because Sharpie's not going anywhere on me. Again, making sure I'm coloring neatly, maybe a little bit darker towards the edges, pressing a little harder, a little lighter in the middle. If you want to layer some colors, sometimes that's nice. If I take a little yellow, you can just see it fills in the white spaces, just gives it a little bit of a more interesting glow than was there before. So take the time with your crayons. I know they're a basic supply, but they can be used in very interesting ways. Okay, and you should have a variety of colors to work with. Totally fine. I could leave these white. White is a wonderful thing, just like black. It makes our colors pop. Okay. And think about all the different colors you can use. Southwestern designs like we did with our rose and our patterns. Sometimes they follow a color scheme, like maybe you want to use all warm colors, or maybe yours are just really bright and you use a rainbow of colors. So really kind of no rules going on in terms of what colors you choose. Up to you. Just make sure you're coloring neatly. When it comes to the table, the ground, whatever you decided that was going to be, you might want to take your crayon while we have them out and add in a little bit of texture to them. So I'm going to say that mine is going to be a table. So I'm just going to take some brown and maybe another brown. Those are similar. And I'm just gonna add some lines, like maybe this is a wooden table. A little texture. And I could even take my little golden yellow too. I just add some lines. So that's an interesting detail to add now while we're using our crayons, because it will peek through our paint next time when we paint. All right, and I think that we get the idea. I'm gonna let you guys go and start your coloring. And remember, neat coloring, choose lots of greens, and leave that background and that surface ready for your paint.